Nice, sorry. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the first ever LFS ACE workshop, ACE Your Way Through Virtual Involvement. Sorry about that. I hope you're all staying well and keeping safe and healthy. Unlike myself, I am a little sick. Before we kick off with a round of introductions, feel free to add pronouns to your name. And just a reminder, if you guys, that you guys stay on mute. If you aren't talking, just limit that background noise. And then we're gonna go ahead and introduce ourselves. So before I introduce myself, I'd like to all recognize that we are a part, that the whole team that has come up with this workshop is the LFS ACE Workshop Committee. And it consists of 5 people, 5 students, and then some other staff. I'd like to recognize Tiff and Val, who won't be talking today, but they are part of this call, and they are also part of the committee. For myself, my name is DeAndre. I am a 3rd year F&H student.
Hi everyone, so glad to meet you all. So my name is Clarice, and I'm a 3rd year food nutrition and health student.
Hi everyone, my name is Rosemary, and I'm a 3rd year nutritional sciences student. So we'd like to begin this workshop with a land acknowledgement. UBC's Vancouver Point Grey campus is situated on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam people. We would also like to acknowledge that you are joining us today from many places near and far, and acknowledge the traditional owners and caretakers of those lands. I'll now pass it on to Cloris for instructions regarding the Q&A portion.
Thanks, Rosemary. So before kickoff starts, just a quick note on question and answers. So during our workshop, feel free to post your questions in the chat. I will be responsible for keeping track of the chat and note down all your questions. And if you want to stay anonymous from the chat, that also works. You can privately message your questions to me, and I will for sure note down your questions. And if you are comfortable for speaking up your questions, feel free to click the raise your hand button under the participation tab. Rosemary will cover quickly how to use that function, and so you can turn on your mic and speak up your questions. And lastly, we will save all the questions until the Q&A session. So after our guest panels finish their presentation, it is your time to, for us to read out your questions, and we will direct them to the specific guest speakers. So you will get your answers. You will get the questions to. You will get the answers for your questions. Just a small tip for those of you who don't want to see the notification badge. You can drag the chat box and stick it to the edges of your screen so you won't see the notification badge pop up in your screen. So now I'm passing it to Rosemary, who will walk you through briefly on Zoom functions and how to annotate during our interactive activities.
Thanks again, Cloris. So just a quick recap on Zoom. On Zoom, there's the participants tab. If you click on it, there's feedback icons, for example, a yes or no button, and the raised hand function, which you can use later in the Q&A portion. And another quick recap on how to use the annotation function. You can find this function by looking at the top of your Zoom window, clicking view options, and click annotate, and only annotate when you see the pencil icon. I'm going to pass it off now to DeAndre for some activities.
Sorry, I was muted. So we were going to do a spectrum activity. So using the annotation function that Rosemary has mentioned, we are going to plot ourselves on this graph with this question. So how would you gauge your current involvement? So wherever you think you fit best on this spectrogram or plane or whatever you want to call it, go ahead and use the annotate function. And yeah, just like people are doing, do like that. That's good. A lot of people in that bottom left quadrant. Oh, in the bottom right. Nice. That's good. I like that stick figure. Very, very artistic. Okay. Okay, so it seems like everyone in the at this workshop right now is in a very good spot because everyone either they are busy or they're not busy. It shows that they would love to know more about the opportunities, and which is exactly what this workshop is aimed to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and clear all of this. Now we are going to now move on. Okay, so so this is the exact same question that was posted at the beginning of the workshop, and so now we're going to do a waterfall activity. So what is driving me to get involved in campus-based and community-based activities? So what I'd like for you guys to do is open the chat, type your answer out, but don't press enter just quite yet. I'm going to let you know when to press enter so that all the answers will rush in. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a few minutes to come up with your answer, and then we'll go from there. It's quite cold in my room. Okay, I'll give you guys probably one more minute. And if you guys can like stop annotating right now, we're not going to be annotating anymore. Okay, and we're going to press enter in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Nice. Seeing a lot of answers. Meeting new people. Nice. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. More people actually about the same time. That's nice. See what you're doing. Nice. So from all the answers, I can gather that a lot of people just want to get to know a lot more people in LFS, build their network, build their skills. Those are all really great things and really great reasons and like motivations to become a student leader. I know that when I first started out, I just wanted to meet new people and build skills. And yeah, you guys will all do those things once you are a student leader. So very good. And so now we are going to move on to our first speaker of the event. It's our very own LFS Student Engagement Officer, Thelini Leighton. So take it away, Thelini. I am going to stop sharing.
Great. Thanks, DeAndre. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with all of you for a second. We'll see how technology works for me. Sometimes it likes me, sometimes it doesn't. So hopefully you can all see my screen. Can I get a thumbs up if that's good? Amazing. So as DeAndre said, my name is Thelini. I'm the LFS Student Engagement Officer. For most of you, my title probably doesn't mean a lot to you, but what I do is I'm here to support students within the faculty to find experiential learning opportunities for them. So some of the programs I help plan are orientation and transition programs, as well as other ways for students to participate, build their community, and gain skills within the faculty. So we're going to play, you got to annotate a little bit already today, and we're going to annotate a little bit more. So what I'm going to get you to do is go to that click view options, and you're going to click annotate and click the text button. And then what I want you to write down is when you hear the word involvement, what do you think I'm talking about? And whatever pops to your mind initially, feel free to write down. So I'll give you a couple of minutes. If you're still thinking of your thoughts, I'll give you like 10 more seconds. I always say when I'm doing this, I need Jeopardy music. And I always say it, but I still have yet to find Jeopardy music. Awesome. So on the board, there's a couple of different things. There's everything from social interactions to working with others, teamwork, clubs, extracurricular activities, and trying new things. Everything you're all talking about really is what involvement is about. Those are some of the many things. There's also many other aspects to involvement that we'll talk a little bit about as we go through the next couple of minutes. So I'm going to get you to do is stop annotating, and I'm going to clear all your drawings for a minute. Awesome. And then what I want you to now think about is we have thought about involvement, but I want you to now think about what you think virtual involvement is. We all transitioned into this COVID environment very quickly, and everything has transitioned virtually. And so for some of us, that means and looks different. And so I'm curious to know what you all think virtual involvement looks like. And so what I want you to do again is click the annotate button, click view options, click annotate, and click text and write down whatever you think comes to mind. I'll give you, again, 15 more seconds for you to think about, and anything that comes to your mind when you think virtual involvement, feel free to write down. If you think that you agree with something, you can see some check marks. Feel free to add a stamp next to somebody else's, so a star, a heart, a check mark, whatever tickles your fancy. Great, I'll give you again like 5 more seconds. Awesome, so I'm gonna get you to stop annotating. And so as you can see, virtual involvement probably looks a little bit different than in-person involvement. And so it looks like you're gonna be connecting with others online, remote participation in some way, an online workshop such as this, and there's also online games and socials, and probably involves potentially using Zoom. I'm sure you've all potentially been on Zoom at least once or twice, but probably your involvement opportunity may involve you being on Zoom more than just once or twice. So again, we get you to stop annotating, and I'm going to clear the screen. So thanks for that. It was a really great way for me to see all the different thoughts and what you're thinking about as you're thinking of involvement. Great. And so what I want to talk to you a little bit about is broadly what involvement could look like for each and every one of you. Please know that this is not an exhaustive list, nor is it mutually exclusive. These lists of leadership experience, workplace experience, and research experience are buckets that we use in the faculty to talk about different opportunities you can partake in. But just because something falls within a research experience doesn't mean it also can't be a leadership experience or a workplace experience. These things can be, you can have it be one thing, but also be 2 or 3 other things as well. And so for all of you, as you're thinking about involvement, what I encourage you to think about is what DeAndre asked at the beginning. What is that motivating factor? But then also on top of that, what are some skills and experiences you want to build? Do you want to build your communication skills? Do you want to build your writing communication skills? Do you want to build your networking? Do you want to be able to build curriculums? You may not even know what I say when I mean curriculum, and that's okay. Do you want to gain and learn how to build friendships and build community? I want you to think about what are those things in your career, because you are already in your career. It may seem like once I graduate, I'll be in my career. You're already there, and I want you to think about what are those skills that you want to build that will benefit you as you continue to move through your undergraduate degree. So some of the experiences I've listed here are orientation leader positions, undergraduate society, mentorship, clubs, the wonderful ACE team that you see on the screen today, some work-learn opportunities, co-op, practicums, internships. All of these things are within our website, and so we'll give you a link later on. I'll post a link in the chat of where you can find more information within our webpage. Also know that I'm more than happy to talk to you about each one of these experiences. If research is something you're interested in, the ACE team events committee is also running something on research on Monday. So there's lots of potential ways for you to learn about these opportunities. But really what I want you to think about is that core thing that DeAndre said at the beginning. What do you want to get out of it, and what skills and experience do you want to gain? So again, what I want you to take a moment to think about, and what I'm going to get you to do is think about this in your head, and then I want you to write it down in the chat. And just like DeAndre did, when I say go, I want you to all press enter at the same time. So I want you to think about, like, what experiences do you want to have? What are some of your goals? What skills do you want to grow or develop? And what interests you, and what are you passionate about? So you can answer all 4 of my questions. You can answer one of them. But I want you to write that down in the chat. And then when I say go, I'll get you all to press enter at the same time. Great, and so I can get you to press enter. I can see some things are starting to go in. So there's everything from intentional and meaningful opportunities to building your network, to experiences with teamwork and collaboration. And it's really amazing that you're starting to think about these things. Know that if you're in your first year, your second year, your third, or your fourth year, it doesn't matter. Wherever you are in your journey, there's always an opportunity for you to get involved and for you to continue to build those skills. What I want you to remember is that it's about you. It's okay for you to think about yourself in this situation. You don't need to always think about, oh, it's about giving back. Sometimes you'll get to give back as a result of also thinking about what you want to gain. So if you want to build those skills for your career, think about yourself. This is an opportunity for you to dig deep and to think about what you want and not what your best friend wants or your supervisor wants or your teacher wants or your instructor or your professor. It's really about what you want to do. So knowing all of that, UBC is a big place. Whether we're virtual or in person, there's a lot of things to navigate. And so one of the different things that you'll have to navigate is what we call recruitment timelines. And this is when different positions on campus are hiring for different things. So the way the university works, which sometimes can be very confusing and challenging, is that we often recruit for positions, for teams, and for programs anywhere from 6 to 8 months before they actually start. So starting in January 2021, up until I would say the beginning and even to the middle to end of September 2021 is when positions will start recruiting for next year. So if you want to be on ACE team next year, or you want to be on the undergraduate society and run for an executive position, they come out at different times. And so you'll get information through your newsletters and through other communication channels. And I really encourage you to keep your eyes peeled for those different opportunities and apply for those things and participate in those things that really appeal to you. Not what your best friend may apply to or the person in your class applies to may not be what you're interested in. So really think about applying for things that you are excited and you are passionate about. The other thing I tell students to think about when they're applying for positions is think also, what other things do you want out of this position? Do you want a reference letter from a staff member? Then you probably need a program that has a staff advisor on that program. So I want you to think about also not only those skills, but also what do you want out of those positions, because that'll be really important for which positions you pick. So my email is listed down below. Please do not ever hesitate to email me. I am more than happy to chat with you, and I know we'll have a Q&A portion at the end for you to ask me any questions you have. But really, please reach out. I'm here to help and support you through your journey. And know that whether we are virtual or in person, that offer stands. for us to connect and for me to meet with you. So I'm going to pass things over. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to pass things over to DeAndre to continue on.
Thank you, Thelini, for that very informative presentation. It was really great, especially touching on, what are those motivations for us? Because I think each and every single person in here should be very intentional about their career, and it's very good to understand their motivations. So moving on, we're going to be going to our next speaker. Her name is Vicky. She's a part of the LFS US. She's a social media coordinator for them. I'm just going to share my screen and then let Vicky take it away. Go ahead, Vicky.
Hi everyone, I'm Vicky. I was the first year rep last year, and I'm the social media coordinator this year for LFS US, which is the undergraduate society for LFS. I know there are a lot of first year here, so I would like to open my introduction to LFS US by talking about first year committee hiring. We have already elected our first year representative this year, as many of you might know, because hopefully you voted. They are opening the application to apply for first year committee this year. This year, of course, is a lot different from last year, and a lot of event might not be going as we hope, but we're trying our best to open up every event possible, and then hopefully you guys can be involved more. So this year, right now we are promoting a lot of events. We have our 2 Halloween events, and we have our LFS Town Hall, which is you can ask us a question, and then our faculty member will be answering next Thursday. Yeah, we also have FYC hiring, which I just mentioned, and we also have Feeding 9 Billion, which is an online competition where we share idea about sustainability, about environment, about our land and food system. Hopefully you guys can join our all the amazing event. Of course, we will open up a lot of more events later on this year. This year, we're trying to bring up as many events as possible, similar to last year. This year, Feeding 9 Billion is free of entry, and we have $1,000 prize for it. So hopefully, yeah, the link is in the chat. So hopefully you guys can take a look. And this year, our 2 main online platform that we're gonna promote our event is Facebook group and Instagram. Also, hopefully you guys can join the LFS class of 2024, which we will be constantly promoting event for first year. I will also like to talk a little bit about the first year committee I joined last year. Last year, me and Jason, we are the first year representative, and we run the first year committee, which is one of the most meaningful, most insightful, most interested event I have participated in last year. We have Wednesday dinners. Oh, and this year we are a little bit different for Wednesday dinner. This year we only have one for every last Wednesday of the month. Yeah, last year FYC was responsible for having 2 Wednesday dinner, which is all very successful since we did make profit, and we have our collab with CUS for Valentine's Day. That was really fun, but well, this we cancel. Unfortunately, we have to cancel our last event for first year committee because at that time, yeah, UBC already closed. So that was very sad. So like hopefully this year the first year reps will have a good plan for you guys. And me and Jason are also in council this year, so we will help whatever first year committee need this year as well. So yeah, I will like you guys to take a look at the FYC hiring platform, which I think they will post in the chat soon. Yeah, I was also involved with Imagine Day Imagine Day Leader, which is also a very meaningful experience, and you guys could probably apply also this year, because I applied last year when in my first year, and then I got to be Imagine Day Leader this year. So hopefully you guys could also pay attention to that. Like you guys will be able to meet a lot of new incoming students as well. Yeah, so that is all about LFS US this year.
Thank you, Vicky, for speaking on what LFS US has for first-year students and students in all years. It was very helpful. And another bonus, if you do join LFS US, you do get that wonderful background that Vicky has as well. Next up, we do have another student speaker. As Vicky mentioned, his name is Jason, and I will stop sharing my screen so that Jason can go ahead and share his and take it away.
Hi, everyone. Super excited to be here today. Again, my name is Jason. I'm the Vice President Administration for LFS US. But today I'm actually going to be talking about sustainability, volunteer, and involvement opportunities on UBC campus. Other than being your VP administration, I also work for the AMS, the student union for UBC, as the sustainability projects coordinator. So what I do is I am in charge of a lot of different sustainability projects on campus and also the sustainability clubs as well. So hopefully by the end of my presentation today, you can learn a little bit more about how to be involved and what it means to what UBC is currently doing about sustainability on campus. So I kind of want to first define sustainability a little bit. A lot of times on campus, we're defining sustainability through the lens of the UN Sustainability Development Goals. Currently, there are 17 goals, and our work here as LFS students really matter towards these 17 goals, whether you're in F and H, talking about no poverty, zero hunger, good health, or you're in API, talking about life on land, the life below water, or you're like me, a GRS student, you can pretty much tackle a lot of these different development goals. So what we're currently doing, we're making a very big impact towards the world, and the UN Sustainability Development Goals is something that's going to be very apparent during our time here as UBC students. So my work with the AMS can be found on the AMS website. Pretty much I focus on four main things. I focus on the Sustainability Projects Fund. This is a funding opportunity and grants opportunity for all UBC students that are able to get a few funding percentages for the projects that have to do with sustainability. For example, Feeding 9 Billion, that was created by the LFS US, parts of the conference, and is funded by the Sustainability Projects Fund. Another thing I work on is plans and policies. I sit on different UBC councils and UBC organizations and subcommittees and discuss about different plans and policies for students to get involved with, and also about just giving my opinions as a student on certain issues on campus as well. Another thing that I work on is involvement opportunities on campus, so something that I'll be presenting more about today. This includes the clubs on campus, also the student groups on campus, such as the UBC Climate Hub and the UBC Sustainability Ambassadors. We work closely with those groups to really bring the student involvement opportunities as much as possible on campus as well. And last but not least, I also work on some projects such as Roots on the Roof, the rooftop garden that's at UBC, and that's in the AMS Nest, and also the zero waste foodware strategy, which includes the implementation of mug share within UBC as well. So if you have any questions about AMS sustainability specifically, feel free to check our website out. But yeah, I'm going to be diving into more of the involvement opportunities now. So the first opportunity I like to share is the AMS Sustainability Symposium. These are monthly meetings with AMS Sustainability, but also with different clubs and organizations on campus. All the undergrad societies send representatives to go to these symposiums as well, just so they can give updates on current events and things that they're currently working on that have to relate to sustainability. So the next symposium is going to be on November 6th. You can register via AMS Campus Space. I'll link the event page to the chat at the end of my presentation. But the topic of this symposium is sustainable funding opportunities. We'll be talking about the process of the AMS Sustainability Projects Fund. Also, we're going to have representatives from UTown at UBC and the Student Environment Center attend to talk about their respective funding opportunities as well. So if you're currently working with a club or you have an individual passion project that you would like some funding for, this is a must-go-to event to talk, and there'll be opportunities to answer any questions, and also they'll go over the funding opportunities available as well. So yeah, all the information can be found on Facebook, but also AMS Campus Space as well. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. The next resource that I would like to talk about is the UBC Sustainability website. This is a great website that talks about all things sustainability at UBC. So if you have time, I'm going to go through a few of the sections here for us today. But if you have time, there's definitely a lot of opportunities that can be looked into throughout this website as well. The first thing I would like to talk about is the teaching and applied learning opportunities. Thelene talked a lot about different research opportunities and different ways to be involved. One thing I really liked looking at was the SEED Sustainability Program. So what the SEED Sustainability Program is, it's a program that connects students and classes to specific projects on campus or specific projects from small businesses across the Lower Mainland. What UBC does is that they connect those classes with specific problems on campus. For example, the AMS partners with SEEDS, and we're currently working with a supply chain audit class in the Sauder School of Business to talk about a supply chain audit for AMS services. And so this is a great opportunity for students to get involved, but also get credits for certain classes as well. And so if you have interested in the SEED Sustainability Program, I like to look at the SEED Sustainability Library, where they talk about the different classes and different programs that are involved currently on campus. And so, for example, SOCI 380, KIN 464, there's a lot of different classes that have applications to sustainability, and students are able to be involved with real life problems, but also get credits through these courses as well. So yeah, if you're interested in getting credits and also being involved, definitely check out the SEED Sustainability Program. I also like to talk about some research opportunities. The research opportunities sections gets updated regularly. Currently, there's no current opportunities available, but again, as Thelene mentioned, usually from January to around September, more opportunities would be posted. So definitely check that out when that time comes as well. In terms of campus, I talked a little bit about policies earlier. All the policies and plans that UBC follows can be found on this website as well under campus. So plans on purchasing, green buildings, climate action, all the information you do, maybe you want it for your own personal research or your personal projects, all that information can be found on the website as well. And last but not least, my favorite section is the Get Involved section within the UBC Sustainability website. They have different sections on different involvement opportunities. So the first opportunity I like to talk about is the Sustainability Ambassadors Program. This is a program that's hosted by UBC Sustainability that brings students across different faculties together to work on sustainability issues on campus. All the application process and how it works is all listed within the section. Another note that I like to make is the projects that the sustainability ambassadors work on. They do workshops on campus. They host the UBC Sustainability Fair, which brings in different organizations and different businesses together to talk about opportunities for students. They also host a sustainability hackathon every year that is pretty much a case competition for students, all over surrounded by sustainability. And also they provide sustainability consulting for student events, also different courses, and also local businesses here in Metro Vancouver as well. So if any of those projects or the consulting aspects really speak out to you, definitely check out the UBC Sustainability Ambassador Program. Applications are usually happen around February or March, usually after reading break. And if you're successful, you join a 8-month placement from September to April. Another section of the Get Involved that I really like is the clubs on campus. So if you go under student groups, this lists out all the student-led clubs, organizations, and different societies. You know, AMS Sustainability is here, Agora Cafe is here, that really focus on sustainability. So, you know, sustainability is really broad. As I mentioned, there's 17 sustainability development goals. There's a organization or there's a specific passion you are about, there will be a organization on campus that really reflects that. So definitely check out the different organizations and clubs that are available, and definitely connect with these groups if you're interested. And then last but not least, I also wanted to talk about the, Zero Waste Squad. Unfortunately, the Zero Waste Squad isn't active this year due to COVID, but next year when school is back in session, definitely check out the Zero Waste Squad. This is a very great opportunity to be involved with UBC operations and how UBC waste management works. Pretty much the Zero Waste Squad is a volunteer opportunity where you educate different students on campus about zero waste, and also talking about, you know, how to live a more green lifestyle as well. All undergraduates and graduate students are encouraged to apply, and the application, similar to what Delaney says, opens around January to when the summertime happens on this website. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check that out as well. So yeah, again, lots of great opportunities on the UBC Sustainability website. Definitely take your time to really look at the different sections, as this is a great resource to look at about UBC sustainability. Another opportunity I like to talk about is the Enviro Lab, hosted by City Hive. City Hive is a local nonprofit organization that's in Vancouver that really connects and gives youth a voice on very important civic issues here in Metro Vancouver. So the Enviro Lab is a series that brings youth together to talk about certain issues, and also to build policy and reports that would be sent out to the City of Vancouver Council to be reviewed as well. So they're having applications for November 1st for students interested in this year's Enviro Lab. This year's Enviro Lab's theme is about zero waste. They didn't specify on the website, but definitely check it out. The application is on the website as well. Oh yes, zero waste and circular economy. That's the theme for this year. And pretty much this brings students and, you know, young professionals across Metro Vancouver to talk about certain issues. And so if you're interested, the application is on due November 1st, and all the meetings will be held virtually, and all the times that you'll meet are listed down below on the application as well. So yeah, if you have any questions about Enviro Lab, I can also answer those as well. And then last but not least, I'd like to talk about some involvement opportunities around the United Nations and the Sustainability Development Goals specifically. So there's this really cool initiative called the SDG Student Hub at UBC. This is a new initiative that connects students with opportunities about the United Nations, and also opportunities around Sustainability Development Goals. They're actually having applications for hub members, and as hub members, what you do is you pretty much host events based around the Sustainability Development Goals, and engage with different UBC students around the SDGs as well. This is open to all students, and there's no membership fees. The application can be found on the Instagram page. And a really cool part of the SDG Student Hub is that Student Hub members can get a certification that is signed by past Secretary General Ban Ki-moon. And so this SDG certificate can be used on your resume and also can be used for future job opportunities as well, pretty much identifying that you're proficient in the SDGs and you have spent some time helping out with the SDG Student Hub program at UBC as well. So if you're interested, definitely check that out at SDG/UBC. If you're also looking into more global communities, United about
Hey, Jason, I think you're cutting out a little bit. Okay, well, that's kind of unfortunate that his internet kind of cuts out, but that's what you kind of have to deal with online school, right? So I know he's not here, but I'd like to thank him for speaking on the different ways to get involved with sustainability. I know that there were a lot of things that he did touch on. And I'd also like to thank all three of our speakers today, Vicky, Anthony, and Jason, for investing all their time and effort for coming here today and speaking. And now we're going to move on to our Q&A portion, and I'm going to hand it off to Rosemary.
Thanks again, DeAndre. I know at the beginning of this workshop, Cloris gave instructions about this, but she just had a slight emergency too. So I will be taking over right now. So does anyone have any questions for the speakers? Feel free to put them in the chat or unmute yourselves.
Yeah, sorry about that. That was the first time that has happened to me. But again, I'll be posting all the links and all the websites that I talked about today down in the chat box below. But I'm also open to answer any questions that you might have and talk a little bit more about programs if you're interested.
Thanks again, Jason. Okay, so for the guest panel, just like a general question, what is one piece of advice you would give to students looking to get involved?
I'll go first. I think looking to get involved, one thing is just knowing your limit. Usually when there's so many opportunities presented to you, you always want to go for opportunities that really, highlight to you. And what happens for sure, I know for myself, for past experience, and for a lot of my friends as well, that they get involved in a lot of different things and they get really overwhelmed. And I felt that sometimes that because I've been involved with so many things, that the things that I do care about, I don't put as much effort or put as much quality towards that specific project, towards the opportunity as much as I want to. So I think for me, one advice is just to really focus on what you're really passionate about and what you're really interested in, and don't put too much on your plate because burnout is something that's really apparent with these involvement opportunities, and especially because everything's online. You're studying online, you're learning online, and you're also being involved online as well. And so that's very tiring and definitely very draining as well. So really just know yourself, know your limit, and you'll get a great experience out of it. Vicky, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I was just going to add, say what Jason just said, do what you're passionate about, what you're always interested about, and know your priorities. Because I know right now, for myself, the school learning all by yourself, learning online thing is really get on my plate. So I honestly don't have a lot of extra curriculum this year, but well, I'm doing LFS US, and that is what I was like always passionate about. I always love being involved in with LFS US. So yeah, just know your priorities and do what you think it's interested, and not just, oh, I need extra curriculum, so I will have to do all of these things. Like, no, you don't need to do that. Just do what you're interested about. Yeah.
I would agree with everything Vicky and Jason said. The only other thing I would add is, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, is really think about what are those skills that you want to gain and develop, and also what is your end goal. If you like, I think I often have students who are like, oh, I have no one who can give me a reference. And so if that's really important to you, that's something to think about when you're picking things to be involved with or things to apply for, is like, what does that reference look like? Or I really like want to do a career in written communication, then you can build your skills in that area, is what I would say.
Thanks again all for your advice. So a question for Thelini: how has involvement changed from previous years to this year, now that everything is virtual?
Yeah, I think it's been an interesting adventure, and I feel like we're all on the same roller coaster together. So please know that we're all in it with you, despite us being staff or faculty members. We are in it with you, and we've been riding this new virtual world together. I would say it's changed in a couple of different ways. I would say there's some involvement opportunities simply because they can't be virtual. Something like Agora Cafe, you can't, the cafe is not open, so we can't have that involvement opportunity available. So certain things are unfortunately unable to be offered this year, but definitely as things change within the health, this health pandemic, we'll see what happens. And so if things can open, then those opportunities would be available again. The other thing I would say is involvement opportunities have changed slightly. So opportunities where maybe you have a meeting once a week, maybe it's now once a month. Or maybe you were having a group of 20 in your group, now you're going to have a group of 5. So these involvement opportunities have slightly changed to accommodate for a virtual environment. I know staff and faculty are very concerned with ensuring that you're not spending 24 hours a day, 7 days on Zoom. So we've tried to alleviate that in some ways with different programming and different ways of structuring involvement opportunities. But the thing I would keep in mind is that there's still a lot of opportunities available. Despite us being virtual, and no matter what continues to happen, I can't read the future. I have no idea what 2021 will look like. And just like all of you, I'm hoping that we are potentially in a different situation where we can see some people. But if that's not the case, there will still be things available for you. And I still encourage you to participate in things and still get involved. But as Jason said, really keep what your limit is and know what your scope is.
Thanks, Thelini. That was very insightful. And to Jason, so what is the VP admin? What are some tasks for your role?
Yeah, really good question. So the VP admin role is an elected position for the LFS US. Pretty much, it's really based on the name, stands for admin, is short for administration. So I do a lot of the administration roles for council, such as take meeting minutes, send emails, and I'm also in charge of 2 counselors on LFS US Council. So the lounge and apparel coordinator that's currently doing the sticker design competition. So if you go on our Facebook, you have, we're currently doing a sticker design competition. Feel free to vote for the stickers that you like the most, and the winners will be in the merch shop next year when we're hopefully back in session. And I'm also in charge of the elections coordinator as well. So in charge of the program rep elections and the first year representative elections that just occurred, and also elections in February for executive positions. And so definitely check the LFS UX Instagram and Facebook page for involvement opportunities there as well. And yeah, it's been a really great experience meeting people in the faculty, and the leadership experience that you gain through LFS US is also really great as well.
Thanks, Jason. And seeing all those stickers like from the competition, they're also like cute and they're just really creative. And just a follow-up question, how was the interview process for your role?
Mhm. So interview processes for counselor positions usually happen in the summer around May to June. What happens is that you send in a first written application via Qualtrics, and then after we look at your Qualtrics form response, your resume, and your resume, we send out interviews. Pretty much it's a very casual interview. We just ask you, why you're interested in the position, what ideas you have about the position. And usually, yeah, we understand that different people have different experience levels. We're really looking not just, if you have the most experience, but also, if you're a team player, your personality as well, and if you're willing to learn and really put effort into the position. So I definitely recommend checking out the different positions available. The LFS US website lists out all the positions and who's currently doing in that role as well. So if you're interested, in the lounge and apparel position or the other positions available like case competition or social media, the one Vicky's currently in, I definitely would actually reach out to their email and ask them, what their experience is like and what they're currently, how they're feeling with their position as well.
Thank you. So that wraps up our Q&A portion. Thanks again to all the speakers. I'm gonna pass it back to Cloris to wrap up this workshop.
So thank you everyone for all your insightful questions and contribution. We hope that you have learned a lot about meaningful insight and tips from our lovely guest speakers. In the meantime, we would like to give credits to our amazing guest speakers, Selene, Jason, and Vicky, for sharing their involvement experiences and tips for us to get involved online. And moving on to the next slide. And yeah, we're going to share with you the contact information of our guest speakers. So for Selene, you are more than welcome to send her an email and you can book an appointment with her, or you can reach out to Vicky and Jason. They are both available on Facebook and Instagram for you to connect with. And if you are using LinkedIn, you are also more than welcome to add Jason on LinkedIn. And we are also just a small note, you don't have to copy down all the information. We'll send you the slides and also all the links included in the slides to you after our workshop. So now it's the most important part, the exit survey. So we would like to know what you have learned during our workshop. So I think Rosemary will send the links into the chat. So feel free to click into it and have a look. It is really valuable for us to know about your feedbacks for our workshop and any suggestion for us in future workshops. We would like to know what you are interested in our upcoming workshops. So we'll have another workshop in November, so stay tuned for more details. And here we also have prepared a resource sheet for you. So this is a document that includes all the useful websites and also opportunities that are currently available for you. We have research using different UBC websites. So we hope that that help you to get your heads around how to get involved online. And we hope it can be a great starting point for you to ace your way through virtual environment. Okay, so lastly, we would like to introduce a great event coming up on November 2nd, which is next Monday. It is organized by our event committee. Let's talk about research. So for those of you who are interested in undergrad research opportunities, you are more than welcome to register it. We'll have a guest panels who are going to share their research experiences as undergraduate students, and you can also network with them after the presentations. So yeah, we shared the registration link into the chat, so feel free to take a look at it. And yes, I think thank you so much for all your great insight and also your active participation. We appreciate you for joining us today. And we also have included the IFSA's website here and also our Facebook event page. Feel free to check out them for our future updates from events, workshops, and also our resources. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email using this email address. Otherwise, yeah, I think thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.
It's just Crystal that's here. So I was like, you can unmute. It's just Crystal.